Gang, all right, let's go. It's crunch time. Football season is here. We've waited a long time for this. We've been bringing you some off-season content, preseason stuff. Here's where it gets real. Uh, Football's back tonight at the time of recording this. There's some FCS games going on, so we're back. It's real. Gents, how are we feeling about football season finally being back?
Yeah, happy to have the ball rolling. Week 0 coming up Saturday, a day after when this will be released. We got some FCS action tonight. If you ain't getting down on Maine versus Towson, you're probably not a scum. So looking forward to getting in on that. And then of course Duke preview. We got through the hard stuff, and now it's time to start getting into the fun stuff, and looking forward to yet again another regular season with the boys.
Yeah, and like Noah said, football's back. Duke fans, don't dismiss week 0. It's generally a big week for us. North Carolina plays, NC State plays, Stanford plays. You got 3 teams on our schedule playing games on Saturday that we get to watch. William and Mary plays Villanova tomorrow. Good chance to watch them when they get their big program defining win in a few weeks. So there's a lot of potential for Duke to go ahead and scout and get an early idea a better idea of how our schedule is going to look just this week.
It's
Yeah, and
true.
as you guys remember, that film very important to
Matters.
get. So we need that. So
Yeah.
we'll get the ball rolling.
Big day for me Saturday. Two hate watches with State and Carolina, but also get to watch my old man Steve's alma mater, San Jose State, take on his favorite team growing up, the USC Trojans. My favorite
The
team as a
real.
kid, the only USC as far as I'm concerned.
Amen.
Amen. God, that so cracks me up. The first time I said the real USC, you just hear Tyler in the back go, "Amen." All right. So here's what you guys can expect tonight. We're gonna get into the talk about the news with the quarterback decision that just came out a couple days ago. Mailbag numbers where we think Duke would have to improve on last year. The schedule and who we think is going to lead what categories, and then we'll get you guys on your way. All right. Without further
Yeah,
ado, a couple days ago.
the
Oh,
the big news.
the big news. San Jose State transfer 6-year senior Walker Eget is named the starter officially by Manny Diaz. It's officially official. Manny spoke about how the team is confident both guys and knows that they can both win games and both will be most likely seeing the field at different times this year. He did say ultimately what it came down to was consistency and protecting the ball in camp. And it sounds like Walker Eget is what showed them that the most. And they believe that he can win games for them. So Noah, talk to us about your thoughts, feelings, overall, just vibe on the decision.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys listen to the position preview, I think we kind of said he was going to be the starter, so not really any shocking storylines there. Kind of knew it was coming for months. And then, it's still expect to see Dan get some reps and possibly get some starts later into the year, depending on how things roll. But it's just time to play ball. So
I just hope Blaine Hippo was considered, even for
blame
a day.
blame ball so hard, HIPAA.
I forget, was it Eli? Was it Eli that called? We were making hashtags. It goes HIPAA violation. Was
Oh
that
yeah,
you
HIPAA
that did
violation.
that?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is. I was proud of that one.
Banger. That's an absolute banger. If he gets in a game this year, we gotta pull that out.
Yeah. Let's see. Rent due, HIPAA
Rent,
violation. We've had
rent
some
due, man.
awesome backup quarterback nicknames. Um, I guess my overall thoughts are like, look, I I think that the fact that Duke was able to get Walker Eget, a player of his caliber, as late in the portal window as they did is pretty impressive. I know I'll just say it. Most people wish we still had he who will not be named. But, at with how
You can
late
say Grayson Loftus. It's okay.
yeah, with how
Yeah.
late it was into the game, I'm excited about Walker Eget. He had some good tape last year on one ACL. He was on a sorry ass San Jose State program. This is a very quarterback friendly offense. I have no doubt he's probably going to have his best season to date this season. And I'm also happy that I know we will be seeing Dan at some point this year. With the 5-5, we're not really concerned about red shirts anymore. So yeah, we're going to be see both. I don't think they're going to be throwing Dan up the middle like Brandon Connett or Will Wilson because he's about 30 pounds light for all that. But definitely some more elusive stuff east west, I feel like. So I'm excited to see what we get to see this year.
Yeah, and I don't mean this to discredit Dan or Eget. I don't think with how this offense is going to look, quarterback should matter.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very
Like,
safe run heavy
like I feel like if
offense.
we come out at any game offensively talking about quarterback play, and then something probably went wrong. And that's not to discredit either one. Like I think they're both serviceable and can do fine with Brewer, but it's still Nate Shepard's offense this year. Like I think,
Mm-hmm.
and if you go back and look even last year, like Duke and Mensa, the last probably 5 games of the season, 4 games of the season, they didn't, they weren't super fast, up tempo. Like they
Ball
really started
control.
leaning
They
on.
changed.
Yeah, I think they started leaning on Nate a lot and slowing down, kind of ball control, like more of a pro style offense. So I think that's what you're gonna. I think if you go back and watch the last 4 games Duke football played last year, you're gonna see a variation of that this year. Obviously, we don't have the same quarterback, but the same style of play. Like I don't think quarterback is a huge factor this year.
No. It's gonna be a probably a game manager situation. We've got an all ACC candidate in Jeremiah Hazley. We've got Nate Kariski also at tight end. We're set there. We've got Nate Shepard, another all ACC candidate at running back. We've got CJ Campbell behind him, and then some really good young posts behind them. Like I feel like we're gonna be okay on offense. We're gonna be okay. Now we
If
can't be getting in situations every week where we have to put up 50 points like last year. The defense is really gonna have to step up as opposed to last year, and I believe they will, but it'll be a slightly different offense this year, but I trust
Yeah.
this staff to adapt.
yeah,
Offensive success is going to be based off just limiting turnovers this year. If we turn it over, multiple times a game, they're not going to be able to keep up. We don't have that talent level, I feel like, to come back from down 17 or down 21, where they just know you're going to have to air it the entire time. And that's not a knock on either guy, just kind of, Walker's been a little turnover prone. Dan's inexperienced, and in camp, they've said, had quite a few turnovers. So, we can't get into situations like that. But if we can just limit our turnovers, no more than one a game, keep it within 10 at all times, this team can certainly compete and, come out with some more wins.
Agreed. All right. If nobody else has anything to add on Ige versus Mahan, we can get into mailbag. You guys did a decent job filling this one up this week, so we appreciate it. Getting started with our friend, the Duke of QP. Hot take: Nate Shepard will not be on the Doak Walker watch list. Why would you say such a thing? How could you say such a thing? That's blasphemy.
yeah. Obviously, he's one of the top 60 running backs in the country.
Yeah, but Peyton Jones is.
What the hell? Liberty University legend Peyton Jones is on the Doak. What?
We are a Peyton Jones.
But it's like Manny said on some interview a couple days ago. He was like, "Does anyone even remember who was on the Doak Walker list last year?" It's pretty relevant in the grand scheme of things, which is
Nowadays,
true.
yeah, it's just a talking point more than
It's fodder.
yeah.
He also then goes on to ask, "What's the over under on Dan Mahan starting?" Or no, over under on Dan Mahan starts at 3.5. What are you taking?
Under, but I would say maybe three might be
Starts
the line.
under. Yeah. Games
Yeah,
appeared in
Starts
over.
over. Yeah, I would hammer exactly just like Eli phrased it right there. I'd hammer both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eli slow stroked that.
No, that's injuries barred. That's injuries barred, of course.
Yeah,
Perfect
yeah, yeah,
season.
yeah.
Everybody just stays healthy and has fun and is great friends.
Yep. Our friend Bentley Weeks, sweet Bentley, sit down, Bentley.
Sit down.
He asks, schedule wise, how does our schedule favor us or does it not favor us at all compared to other teams in the conference? So here's what I'll say about our schedule and how it might favor us. It's both, I feel like, and here's my stance as to why. We're starting off with Tulane, Illinois, Stanford, William and Mary. Only one of those. Oh, and then a bye week. So only one of those is on the road. All three of those home games are very winnable. That road game also might be winnable. We'll see. I don't know yet. So realistically, if things go well, Duke could come out of that first 4-game stretch 3-1. And there's one conference game in there. They come out of the bye week, and then here's where it gets hairy. At Georgia Tech, we don't know what they're going to be yet. Carolina at home, at UVA, Boston College at home, at State, at Miami, Clemson at home, at Wake. The gauntlet it's a very backloaded schedule. It's like the old days where you get the 4 crappy non-con games and then a bye week and then the conference play starts. It's a very back heavy schedule. So that front half helps us and the back half hurts us. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, we traded UConn for Miami, so not a huge fan on that one.
We can't at
Well,
least get them at home. That'd be nice.
yeah, that's back-to-back road games in Coral now. But would have much rather played UConn and got our face back. But nonetheless, kind of to the same tune Eli said, not only is the schedule, tough on the back end, but all the tough games are essentially on the road. I mean, Clemson at
Yeah.
home is going to be brutal. You know what I mean? Like, Clemson's going to be a good football team this year. That's not going to be like how it was in Death Valley last year. Can Duke win that game? Sure, absolutely. But it's not one of those ones where we're chalking it up like a, Boston College or a UNC or something like that. The road games at State, they're going to be good this year. That's a tough place to play. Feels like they're due. Wake on the road, last game of the year. If they're fighting for bowl eligibility or maybe fighting to get that 9th win again like Dicker had last year, that place can be rocking. Miami on the road with their talent level, depending on how well they mesh this year. I mean, it can be a brutal 4 or 5 game stretch throughout October and November. It could get sideways quick.
Yeah, like if you look at it, and I'll say something before we get into it. The good news for Duke is there's not really a losable. Well, there are losable home games, but there's not a home game that Duke's going to go into it as a massive underdog. Like, oh, if they win this game, it's a big win.
Miracle.
Yeah.
The bad news is they don't go into a single road game where it's like, let's just take care of business and get out of here.
Yeah.
But going in, look a little bit into conference. Like I said, I'll get into some more of this in a minute. They do play They play the 3 worst teams in the ACC standings projected to start the year. They do get to avoid SMU, thank God. Louisville, thank God. 2 teams that like to smack Duke around.
Pitt.
Yeah, no Pitt, thank God. So like it's a really weird schedule when we get toward like it's some of it's just optics, like playing 2 Friday games when the bye week falls. But that's for later. I think if you put Duke's schedule up with the rest of the ACC, it's probably middle of the road.
Yeah. It's
Probably,
not I mean,
it
we're
probably
not
leans a little to the softer side. Like it's not super difficult, but it's also like not the easiest one to navigate.
yeah. Miami is the only team on our schedule where I'm like, yeah, we're not beating them. Straight up, like we're not beating
Yeah.
them. That's like, but that's also like Clemson last year. Going into last year, we thought Clemson was all the way back. And even until like week 3 last year, we were like, we're not beating Clemson. Don't even think about it. It's not happening. So yeah, again, this year, Miami's the only team where I'm like, yeah, we're not winning that game. Uh, hey, who knows? Like I said, we thought Clemson was all the way back last year. We beat them. Anything can happen. But yeah, to answer your question, Bentley, do I think it favors us or hurts us? Yes. Um, our friend Timothy, Mr. Duke Gonzalez. This week, 2 Duke commits, Stephen Hick Jr. and Alex Patton will be playing for the Steel Knights this Thursday on the KSAT 12 YouTube. So any Duke fans want to check, I'll send the link in the GA Scumbags inbox. Thanks for that, Tim.
Yeah.
Still
Go
think you
check
got
out
that
it.
link.
Our friend Rook TD, cheer up, lads. Need an optimist on the episode to balance y'all doomers out.
I'm always
Doomers.
optimistic.
We're always
Doomers.
optimistic. I will say I've gotten more optimistic as time goes on.
That's
The
where they
closer we
want
get
you.
to the season, yeah, that's right when they get you.
Yeah.
A friend Jacob on 3 Ross says, if the defense could be like 2024, how many wins do you guys think we could win? Hopefully, offense can just be steady. If the offense this year is just adequate, like upper half of the ACC, and the defense is performing the way they were in 2024, I could see 8 wins.
Yeah, that's close to my ceiling, so I would say right around 8 if all things went perfect and the defense was just out of their minds.
Yeah, 8, 9. Like even if the defense plays like they did then, we're not. I don't see us beating Miami, and we probably drop someone else somewhere along the way because we're Duke.
There's a couple
Because
Duke
we're
losses
Duke.
in there, yeah.
Because we're Duke.
Jason Rogers, since Walker has been named QB1, do you see this as a positive when your offense now knows he's the starter, so it's time to get more serious?
If them boys ain't been serious since the spring, we're in
Yeah.
fucking
We're in
trouble.
deep shit.
They've
I'm
been playing
going.
flag all off season.
Yeah, if they come out there and lay a fucking egg against Tulane, and it's because we weren't serious and we were just farting around, I'll be very surprised if that happens, but I'll be pretty agitated. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Look, we just got to play hard. That's what
Just
it
gotta
comes
play
down
hard.
to. My friend Lane Phipps, there's so much unknown about this roster. I'm just going to hope for the best. Just got to play harder. Amen, Lane.
Hey, preach.
Milo Mayhem Mania, change that handle, buddy. Milo Mayhem Mania Beto. Hey Eli, how are you today? I'm doing all right. I'm single now, but it's okay. You know, I'm welcoming this opportunity in this new chapter of my life.
Duke dance team, if you hear us.
Yeah, please, God, please. Our friend Sam at Bleeding Duke Blue. Comment. I'm thinking the last Airbender helmets were made so no matter what happens this year, nothing can look worse. God, put that on a shirt.
Fucking banger.
Hot take. Nate Shepard, Heisman finalist.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's hot.
scorching.
That's a hot take, but the only reason I say that's a stretch of the imagination is because he's at Duke. Now, if he was at like a Miami or like a Big Ten school and played the way he does, yeah. But there is that Duke bias, I feel like.
If Nate Shepard played quarterback, maybe, but I don't.
Yeah, that award's for QBs now.
I don't. Alpha what? Because Ginty didn't win it. They gave it to Hunter. Was Derrick Henry the last one?
Probably.
And before him, I don't. Maybe Melvin Ingram. There's been like maybe 2 running backs and win it since like 2010.
Let's
So
not
it
forget
was
Reggie Bush got his Heisman back. About damn time.
the NCAA actually did something right for once.
Yeah, right.
The one thing.
Prediction 9-3. We lose to Illinois, NC State, and Miami. God, I do not want to lose to NC State.
That would be my perfect year.
I really
honestly.
don't. But if we go 9-3 out of that, get like a good ass bowl. I guess whatever. Question: if Duke was to partner with a business for a jersey logo, who? Pornhub. Just kidding.
Oh.
That's what our friend Tim would say.
I would say Cookout or Smithfield.
It'd be like a Durham, so like maybe some tech company out of Durham or like.
It'd be something lame like that instead of fucking pork, you know.
Oh my God, yeah, dude, put the South Point logo on the. I'd be all in on that, dude. Holy hell.
That's the
Duke
one.
football sponsored by North Hills.
Yeah, some like medicine, like medical like company or some like life science company or a bank or something like that.
But it would
I
definitely
forgot
be
Pfizer.
It would definitely be Dollar Shave Club because that's who already does the deck.
Yeah, it's true.
I 100% guarantee that's who it would be.
Probably so.
And then lastly but not least, our friend Lion the Devil. My prediction is floor of 3-9, ceiling 7-5. Ooh. A bowl game would be great, but getting the young guys a lot of work is the most important to me. Yes, but you know, I forgot the last part. Whatever. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on that question?
I think he's spitting right there.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, there's a world that isn't too far out there where Duke misses a bowl game. There's a world also that's not too far out there where Duke pushes for 8 wins.
Yeah.
Like
I really do think it's like a floor of 5 and a ceiling of, I'd say 8. 9 would be a stretch, but 8 is on the table, I feel like. All right. Mailbag is wrapped up. Thank you guys for participating again. Tyler, let's talk about some key numbers here. What are these numbers we're about to talk about?
not good. Like
Bad ones.
every year you can pinpoint like certain areas where a team has to improve and stuff, but like it's just if Duke does these things again this year, it's just
Ofer.
That's when I'm going to start questioning people, like decision makers and stuff in the program. Last year, third down defense. We all know how bad it was, but I don't think we really know how bad it was. Opponents converted 83 of their 163 attempts against us on third down.
What's
Good
that
for
percentage
40
right there?
45%. So they were basically getting every other third down against us. You think that's bad? It gets
Fucking
worse.
hell.
Red zone defense. We allowed opponents in our red zone 56 times last year. Also seems kind of low. They scored on 51 of those 56 attempts, 91%. 40 of those 56 were touchdowns, or 40 of their 51 scores were touchdowns. So we weren't even like holding teams to field goals. Like you crossed the 20 and we just rolled over.
Remember in
Like
2024 when we used to bend?
but don't
La-
break.
But don't break. Last year we just broke.
Last year we snapped.
Last year's defense,
Snapped.
last year's Duke defense was just like those karate boards. They just snap instantly. Yeah.
I called it week 3. I was like, if Duke could play between the 20s, for like if the end zone was at the 20-yard line, Duke would have went
On
12
offense
and 0
and
last
defense. On offense and defense, yeah.
year. We'd went 12-0 last year. But yeah, like I mean, really defensively just wasn't very good. But like giving up 45% on third downs, 91% in the red zone. We can talk about, players that need to like those are the two big areas. Like that, I don't care where it's at because it wasn't like we were just giving up a bunch of third and shorts either. There were like a bunch. I remember several 3rd and 12s, 3rd and 15s, 3rd and 10s.
Our whole gimmick came from that last year. Every time it'd be 3rd and 12 and Mo Bamba would play, they got us right where they want us. And then boom, 27-yard completion up a seam route and everybody's just like digging in their butts.
Screen pass.
Yeah,
Oh, dude,
screens.
like that NC State first drive when Roper went old school and just like
Yeah.
rocket bubble screened us to death. I was
My
like,
former neighbor, Terrell Anderson, who's
good.
now at NC State, had like 3 touchdowns that day. It's like, God.
But
Gross.
staying with the red zone on the other end, the offense wasn't terrible in the red zone. Like they got in the red zone 66 times, scored 55 times. You live with that. The issue was only 46 were touchdowns. And that puts us 71st nationally. Again, middle of the road, but when you consider the offense Duke had last year with Mensa, Barcade, Shepard, Hazley, Queso, Hagens, to be 71st nationally in red zone scoring percentage is a joke.
Every touchdown scored in the red
put.
zone was Landon King. That was it.
And that might be middle of the road, like in all of FBS, but that's bottom of the road in power for sure. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, outside, like your Boston Colleges and Stanfords of the world. Penalties per game. Honestly, I was kind of shocked by this one when I was looking at some of the numbers because I didn't think it was that high. Penalties per game. Duke averaged 6.7 penalties. We were the 40th most penalized team in the country in the FBS, so we were 40th out of 100. And I think it's like 38 now teams. So like that's a pretty high up there. But I could be wrong. It didn't feel like we had that many penalties. It could have been because we were just giving up so many yards that teams were declining all the penalties anyways. But
it wasn't like our weakest area, but it was a point of concern a little bit.
Speaking on penalties, for the love of God, Duke, if you put 2 guys out on the field this year wearing the same number, I'm coming onto that field. I'm going to find whoever the coach is responsible for that. And I swear to God, I'm going to kill him on the field.
Tim's going to drive up here and beat his ass.
Yeah, Tim is over that.
Tim's going to drive up here and beat his ass.
Yeah, that's how serious it is. Tim can drive. Well, I think those are the big areas. Your third down defense has to get better. You got to get better in the red zone, both ends, and you cut back on penalties, especially with the offense that we think Duke is going to play stylistically this year. You're not going to get as many opportunities when you slow the game down a lot. So, it's going to become more imperative that you convert when you get those chances.
Yeah. Moving on now. We're going to break down the schedule. We're not going to do like an in-depth game preview for every game on the schedule. Like that's what our episodes are for throughout the season. But we're just going to kind of run quickly through some of the games where we see trouble spots, expectations, overall importance of the stretches, something to keep in mind here. Duke is one of 12 ACC teams playing 9 conference games this year. They're replacing UConn with Miami as the ACC transitions to a 9-game conference schedule fully in 2027.
Yeah, so if you guys thought tiebreakers were done for, just wait till you get teams playing 9 games and teams playing 8 games that kind of have to intermingle. I forget what all the rules are for that this year, but it's still a mess till everyone gets on the same schedule.
Well, don't forget the one best vague rule is, we'll just compare them. I was like, oh
Push
yeah,
comes to shove, it's just we look at it and go, oh, maybe these guys.
we like them a little bit more than these guys. It's like, yeah, what's the metric used for that, boss hog? But
Well, since it's better for the ACC that Derry Menzel went to Miami.
God, Roddy
Or-
Jones,
Our NC
dude.
Sports page, news, or whatever that page was.
Yeah, but it was Roddy that said it, and they were just quoting him. Go fuck yourself, dude. Like, holy hell, what a miserable human to be, Like, nobody, the ACC doesn't even share playoff revenue, so it doesn't do anybody any good if one team is just loaded up with a bunch of fucking scummy, second backwash players like Mensa and Cooper and their tenderism ACLs. Hopefully, like fuck them, fuck Miami. I don't hope the best for this league. I mean, I hope the best for like a team like Pitt. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't give
teams
a
with
fuck
a little bit
about
of
Miami.
integrity. Yeah.
Yeah, Pitt's got a little bit of heart in them. Boston College, those guys blue collar.
Yeah.
Fuck what they got going on in
UVA, like
Louisville.
NC State, Duke. It's good when
Yeah.
those teams are good.
Yeah,
Not
I
Miami.
have fun. I enjoy watching, like, if Duke went in the ACC championship last year, I'd have been like, man, it's cool as hell. UVA's playing of all
Agreed.
teams. Like, that's
Agreed.
random, like, oh, Georgia Tech, I'm like, yeah, that's sick. I give a rat's ass about what Miami does. They still haven't won one, so I
Yeah.
shouldn't even care about them.
Cristobal never won the Coastal.
Just saying.
He could have. He would have made it to the grind.
God, I miss a random Saturday night Coastal Chaos with all 8 teams sitting at like 4-4 conference records.
ACC Bowl of Destiny with Mark May.
Yeah, nothing like it. Literally a different winner every single year for like 9 years in a row.
It's fucking epic, man.
Well, Tyler, take us into weeks 1 through 4 real quick.
I mean, every game's important, right? Like, obviously, you only get 12 of them. Every game matters. This is the most important stretch of Duke season. Maybe not in terms of like
it defines a year for sure. It tells us what team they're going to be.
This isn't the most important in the sense of like conference games or the biggest games we're going to play. But if you don't come out of this 4-game stretch of Tulane, who this isn't the Tulane of the last few years, like they lost everything. Will Hall's their new head coach. He's a idiot. Like they should win 6 games, maybe 7. You go to Illinois, they're going to be pretty. They're not what they were last year. They're still really good. They'll probably be an 8-win team, but they're not as good. Stanford, they're bottom of the ACC, and then William & Mary. If you can't come out of that at minimum with 2 wins,
3-1 minimum is.
Well, yeah, ideally we're 3-1. 2-2, there's still a shot at maybe getting a bowl game. But if you drop the opener to Tulane, then you go 0-2 because you lose at Illinois, it gets a lot harder to find a path to 6 wins.
What if we just start off 4-0? LOL.
Well, the most Duke thing in the world would be start out 4-0, then you drop one to Georgia Tech, you get to 4-1, you beat UNC, beat UV on a Friday, you're at 6-1, then you lose the rest of the 5, and you go 6.
We call that the Cutcliffe special.
Yeah, like that would be the most Duke thing they could do. But like that first 4 games is going to tell us everything about like how this season's going to look, really.
I'm much higher on Illinois, I guess. But like I really think they were like a quarterback away from kind of opening up like a new dimension. And I just think Hauser from ECU, I mean, he's a slinger. He puts it all over the place. So I'm worried that yet again, not only will their just like big boys up front and run game kind of outman us, but if they've added a passing game, that could end up being a lot of trouble. And Stanford, like as bad as they may have been last year, still got some pretty good wins and returned a lot of their talent and everything on their side. They're saying they could be a 5-7, 6-6 team. So Duke can't sleep against Stanford, or else that'll be one they could end up losing by 17 points.
The good
True.
news was the good news about the Stanford games. They got Davis Ward playing quarterback. He used to play at Michigan. You gotta think. You think our quarterback situation's bad. Wait till you watch Davis Ward play, and you'll think that Walker Eget looks like the second coming to Peyton Manning. Like he's pretty terrible. But their problem is they're gonna have two running backs that have like 1,000 yards, so they'll just run it down our
It's
throat.
old school. Andrew Luck knew what he was doing, brother. He designed this.
Command the luck.
Um,
But after those first four, we hit the bye week. We only get one this year. Last year we had two, which was kind of an
that
anomaly.
was
This
just a
year,
weird stretch of the year. We had one
Yeah.
game in the span of like a month.
yeah, like the month of October, I think we played what? We went
Like
Georgia. We played Georgia Tech in October, I think.
Yeah.
We played Cal at the tail end of September, and
we
then we
bye
played
week,
Georgia
right?
Tech 2 weeks later.
Yeah, Cal bye week, Georgia Tech bye week, and I think it was Clemson or the UConn Clemson.
It was
We
Clemson and UConn because UConn was the Clemson hangover.
Yeah,
Anyway, I prefer one bye week over two. I'm trying to see some football here. Cool. Games 5 through 8. A 3-1 run here is possible. Maybe even 4-0. But this stretch will tell us the most about this team. We're getting into like the real nitty-gritty of the schedule. Starts to get real. Georgia Tech has been a house of horrors for Duke as of late, but they are softly rebuilding. They've got their quarterback, Alberto Mendoza, who's on the last name scholarship. UNC is a must-win game for several reasons. We absolutely cannot afford to lose to this absolute joke of a program that
yeah.
UNC is right now.
If we
get our
lose to
licks in.
USC, that's a nail in the coffin kind of loss.
That's one that would end the year, I fear.
Yeah. Then we travel to UVA on short rest on a Friday night. That'll be an interesting game. I'm actually Scott Stadium at night. I'm all about that.
That'll be.
That's the most senior team in the league as well. So
Don't tell me that, please.
We're on short rest that week. It's a Friday night at their place. We just beat them in the ACC championship, but don't have virtually any of the tools except, like Nate and Jerry back on offense. But I mean, I'm not just saying that's a loss, but I don't think that one is as easy of a let's keep this close game as people think. They're returning. If I'm not mistaken, I know they're the most senior team in the ACC, but I'm pretty sure it was in the country. So, I think Tony Elliott's got a good chance to head back to Charlotte if all things stay healthy and well up there.
Tyler, what do you think on that?
Georgia Tech. If Mendoza's good, Georgia Tech's a loss. If Mendoza doesn't pan out, Georgia Tech's a win. I love Brent Key, but I like quarterback's a big thing for them. They do have Jamal Haynes back, at running back, who's pretty damn good. And yeah, it's Atlanta. When Duke's gone down there recently, it's been just weird games. Like, was it two? One of the Riley Leonard teams went down there, and I remember
This is
that was a weird.
2022.
That was a weird game. And then we had the game Mandy's first year. We went down there because that was the game where we all thought. Well, that's when we thought Todd Plino was dead because Mandy refused to kick a field goal like 3 4th downs in a row, and then brings out Todd and he misses it.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Oh well, Manny was right."
We were built in.
So like that one ended up being weird. Like we already said, Carolina. That just we're not gonna act like. I think they're gonna be better than they were last year, but I still.
Yeah, I think
They're not.
I'm not saying Carolina's going to be good, but let's look at Carolina last year. They were like, well, their defense wasn't terrible.
They were middle of the road defensively. They were an offense.
They had no offense. They were like
better.
They were almost like 2022 Duke, and that like 8 more points on the year would have netted them like 2 more wins, like one of those types of deals. But
they, as much as I hate Bill Belichick, and I think he's just doesn't fit there. He did like make big changes. Like he went got Bobby Petrino, which is just a wild dynamic to think about if people know who Bobby Petrino is and know how Bill Belichick is. Petrino is one of the most like clippable conference coach, like press conference coaches there is, like just saying stuff. And then there's
Just
Bill
be saying
Belichick.
shit.
Oh, and then there's Bill Belichick. Like we're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So like the
So
dynamic there is interesting.
so
And
that
Virginia, like Noah said, that's probably a loss. So we'll win that one by 20, and then we'll lose to Boston College.
yeah, dude. Straight up. On your
Like
birthday.
Yeah, and I don't have to lie about this one.
Yeah. Tyler came with a.
Great
We all
memory.
went down to Clemson last year, but Tyler had to he literally did not let us have him appear in any photos. He was like, I can't be here. I took time off work. They don't know I'm down here. Do not take a picture of me. So we were like, okay.
I skipped tryouts to be at that game.
That's
A high school
crazy.
basketball coach, mind you.
And it was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah,
It was
we'll
to
never
get to go
see
there.
that happen again.
Games 5 through 8 at GT Tech, UNC, at UVA, and Boston College. Anything can happen that stretch. Now, here's the gauntlet.
Oof.
Here's the tough third of the schedule. Games 9 through 12, super difficult path to end the season. Clemson on short rest following a road game against a rival at State and an emotional game at Miami. We don't have to tell you guys what that game means. And finally, wrapping it up on the road at Wake, it's on the road at Wake in 2026 is not going to be on the road at Wake in 2024. It's not. This is a different Wake team, and Jake Dicker has those boys ascending. Anything above 1-3 in this stretch, we would consider a success. So Noah, you go first on this one. Talk to us about this stretch. What are your thoughts, predictions, feelings?
And mind you, 2024 Wake, we still needed a walk-off Hail Mary to beat them at Wake. So
a lot of
improvisation
on that.
Much improved and a much better Wake program. But yeah, looking into this stretch, kind of what we were speaking about earlier, it's the meat of everything. You've got State on the road. State's much improved, I think. Dave Doran will be the downfall of their year, not their talent. CJ Bailey, Duke Scott, those guys are phenomenal. They've got some pretty good defensive players in the secondary. Their defensive line and most State fans will tell you that their defensive line might be kind of what hurts them a little bit. So, that might be one where if Nate can rush for 200, Duke can stand a chance. But I think State's due there. Then you kind of get into got the Clemson, the Miamis, the household names in that stretch. Is Clemson going to be back? Are they not going to be back? It's hard to sit here in a preseason podcast and sit there and tell you, no, Clemson's going to go 5-7 this year. They don't have it. Because I don't believe that. But if it happened, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, that's been the trend.
Again, we thought they were all the way back last year. They were mid in 2023. They were back in 2024. They were mid last year. So following recent trends, they should be somewhat back this year, make a run for the ACC. But also, I could see them walking into Wallace Wade and getting pantsed again.
Here's the scary thing with this year's Clemson team. Is Dabo's going around throwing the whole bunch of nobodies thing out there.
Yeah, we're a bunch of nobodies.
Oh, we suck. We're a bunch of nobodies. Like he had the BYOG team, bring your own guts. Then he had the rest of y'all butts where it was Alabama and the rest of y'all when he goes to win the Natty. So Dabo's pulling out all the stops to try and get him ready for this year. It's one of those things where if it's not this year, it might be done for good.
Dabo's even putting the Bible away this year because he knows nobody on the team is rocking with it anymore. So we'll see.
He's pulling out all the stops compared to last year. He kind of went with that. No, we're talented. We're gonna win games. This year he's like, nah, just a bunch of dogs.
He's got us. He's got us right where he wants us.
Oh yeah. So, and then to finish the year, you got Wake on the road with a 9-win, coming off a 9-win. Jake Dickert, first year, best hire of that cycle. We're huge fans.
Gio Lopez gave us a scare last year. Now even Beacon Gio Lopez
with a much better coordinator, much better system, much better head coach. Just much better team around him. Yeah,
much better grades.
Yeah, he's even got the grades. But Gio, I mean, that Wake game is not just an auto dub, but is it one Duke should win? we don't know what this Duke team is, but just going off of what it is on paper, yeah, Duke probably should win that one. But if Wake comes out the gates this year and trends like they did last year, that could be another one where Duke find themselves in a world of trouble towards the end of the game.
Now let's go back for just 1 second and talk about Miami. We don't have to get in depth here, but this
They'll be good.
any game against Miami is interesting. It's always an interesting matchup. It's always an interesting game. It's no secret they took our quarterback and our best wide receiver at the 11th hour. So that's highly charged. Mensa's made some comments and made no strides to make things sweet or chilled out in the media, calling it like a revenge game. Noah, what was it you said on the Clemson pod about the Mensa family?
We took that. Yeah, no, let me go ahead. Yeah, so yeah, we took them off a snap. You ain't gonna be treating us like this. You know what I mean? We took Mama out the trailer, got her nice and put up, but keep throwing all that bullshit out there, and hopefully John Morris's Evo, new techno helmet
Make his
has some
snap
bullshit
count
in
this
it.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, has a little extra lead in it or something like that. Bow, bow, bow.
One
But
thing I don't like
this
about
week,
the Mensa family is I don't care for the fact that his mom never sat with the rest of the parents. I don't care for the fact that she sat at Blue Devil Tower every week. I think that's a bit like, who are you a little bit? You
that
are
was part
not.
of the deal.
I mean, hey, you know what? Fair enough. She was not a Duke mom. She never will be a Duke mom, even if she ever wanted to. You're not Kristen Hazley. You're not Stacey Taylor. You're not Jackie Polino. You don't deserve to sit with them. So you know what? Stay up there in Blue Devil Tower. All that to say is Miami. I'm not saying Duke's going to beat him. I'm just saying, hey guys, what if?
The
What if they're
game
not
still has to be
as
played.
good? What if they're not as good? What if they pull a Clemson this year and we think they're all the way back and they're all the way great and they pull a 7-5? They start playing like Manny Diaz is still their head coach. What if?
If that happens, Cristobal gets fired because
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
there's outside of like the what if, there's no world where they shouldn't. I mean, steamroll the ACC this year,
Right.
which is why they won't.
Exactly.
Ideally, the only other thing I'll note is on like Clemson. If if we were playing Clemson, throw them after the UVA game, or put Clemson where Stanford's at, coming out of Illinois, or put them after Stanford. I would feel much better. It's the fact that you're going at State, at Miami, short rest Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a good chance, and then you're trying not to look ahead to wait to the next. Like that game is just in a really brutal spot. Like outside of everything else. Like that's the weird thing about having one bye week with two Friday games. Well, like Duke's playing off of short rest. Now they get an extra day's rest off of both those games technically, but back to back games, like emotional games, like you go from UNC to at UVA short rest, at State, at Miami, home to Clemson on short rest. Like we talk about Coach Feely and how the strength and conditioning of this team. It's gonna have to show up this year, big time.
Yeah, it'll have to be evident.
It will be. I have faith.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not worried about that. Staying healthy will be the biggest thing. Freak injuries, things like that, to be able to, contest and hang around towards the end. Just no doubt about it. Need a little bit of luck on your side each year. And that goes for every team. I mean, your season can be derailed in the blink of an eye with throwing people go down.
Just look at the
And when I
Dillon
think
Panthers in
about luck in college
2006.
football programs, I think about the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. When I think of luck,
All right. Moving on from the schedule, we are going to get into player predictions as we do every year, as is tradition. As sure as Duke is to play the opposing team's fight song before the game, as sure as we are going to bring you guys player predictions. Who at which position we expect is going to get the most stats, or the best stats and lead each category. Starting off with QB1. Noah. How many
yeah,
yards and touchdowns?
Yeah, I've got Walker coming in at 2,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, and a 55% completion percentage. One thing I will say in his stats, and I understand there's injury, but even in the time where healthy year prior, completion percentage has always been a huge issue. And, I think a lot of that might contribute to having to force the ball downfield a ton. And also throwing 58, 60 passes a game. It's hard to keep it up unless you're Joe Burrow in 2019 LSU. So, hopefully Duke, kind of keeps that snap count around 25, 30 passes a game, and he just, keeps helming them and keeps it safe. But I've got him at 2,700 yards, the 19 TDs, and 55.
Good deal. I'll go. Walker Eget's typical career or year typically looks something like 27 to 2,900 passing yards, 19 passing touchdowns, and like 56, 7 completion rating. With that being said, he's fully healthy now. He hasn't been fully healthy in a couple years. He's going to be in the best system of his life. He's going to be on the best team he's ever played on and have the best resources and weapons he's ever had. That being said, give me Walker Eget, 3,082 passing yards, 22 passing touchdowns, and 57% completion rating. I'm going to write this down actually so I can come back to this. What it says 3,082 yards, 22 TDs, 57%
God,
completion.
man, it's almost like there's a spot in the doc for you to type it.
I've been big. Look, man, I've been going through a lot the last couple of days.
For
Cut me some
real, yeah,
slack.
no, just joking.
Well,
Whatever.
I'm gonna have to edit my prediction because I made this doc before the news came out. So I've got Ari Patu leads us in passing yards. Obviously, that's not going to happen anymore. But
Never say never.
I don't. I'm a little bit lower on Eget's stats, not just in the sense like I don't think he's very good. I just don't think that we need him to put up those numbers. I think he's going to throw for right around 2,800 yards. He'll probably throw for I've got 16 TDs and a 57, right around 57% for his completions. I just I don't think we're going to try and take the top off of teams through the air a lot. I don't think we're going to try and be as explosive. Like Eli said, I think he's going to be more of a game manager role. And I don't think this offense is going to be as good. Like I'll get to that when I get to my official preview, but I don't think the offense is going to be as good. I have some worries about trying to mesh all these new receivers and quarterback, how that could turn out. Because Duke's been very fortunate to have a lot of good luck in that, and it's like we're due for regression eventually. But yeah, I'll stick with 20. I'm right around Noah, 2,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, 57%.
Rushing yards. Give me Nate Shepard, 1,500 yards. What's up?
Hot take.
Yeah, Nate Shepard. Hot take. I expect us to ride him this year and give him the ball a lot.
Good call.
Give me Nate Shepard, 1,572 yards, 16 touchdowns, and give me Campbell, 486 yards and 5 TDs.
Yeah, I'm kind of in line with you. I think we're going to see a lot more CJ Campbell than people think. Like I know we talked about
Probably.
in the run. I know we talked about it in the running back pod. I know Noah is a bit more bullish on Shepard getting more touches, but I think we're going to see a fine dosage of CJ Campbell. That said, Shepard's still like getting numbers. Like I've got him with 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, and just to like show how much I think we're going to run the ball, I've got Campbell with 706 TDs. I think this is going to be not like it was when we had Quez and Waters when they both, what was it? They both put up like it was 600, 800 or something like that. I think was the numbers they put up that first year with Elko. I think it'd be similar to that, but I think except Shepard is by far and away the running back one. So I've got him with 1,415. I think Campbell pretty much just halves his production. But I expect we're going to be 65% run oriented.
Campbell's gonna be a great like RB2 like shuffle piece. Like I'm excited for him, like actually.
Yeah, I've kind of as Tyler hinted on, I think Nate gets the biggest workload, we've probably ever seen a Duke running back get, on a good team at least. Or like on a
Not
decent
like a
enough
Deion
team.
Jackson or
Not
a
a
Chris
not a Mateo
Douglas.
not Mateo Durant, you know what I
That one time
mean?
we tried to kill Mateo Durant.
Yeah, which but nonetheless, I've got Nate coming in 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns. I think it's going to be a big year for him. I think that I think he could probably all-purpose eclipse about 2,100 maybe. But I think it's just going to be electric stuff from him. I just sadly think there's a lot of other factors that might not make it so electric, but really looking forward to watching him on the field this year.
Yeah, for receiving yards, receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns, I don't think we're going to see anyone put up gaudy numbers. I think there's going to be a bunch of guys in contention for most targets, most receptions, but like we've already said, Jared Richardson's far and away going to be the number one target. So I think with that, he'll probably lead the team in receptions with I'll put him with 60. He'll probably lead the team in yards. I don't think we're going to have an 800-yard receiver. Sorry, Chandler, we don't have four 1,000-yard receivers this year. I hate to break it to you, but I do have him getting right around the 800-yard mark, 785. I'm going to say something, and we love Jerry, we love the Hazleys. I'm kind of worried. I Not that I don't think Jeremiah is the best tight end in the ACC. Last year, I feel like it was a lot easier for him to get open and get the targets he did when you had a Cooper Barkate, a Kashawn Brown,
Higgins, Landon
some weird
King, Angelo
Higgins.
Anthony.
Like this year, he is going to be a lot of teams' focal point
He's going to be
of
game
like,
planned.
yeah, like this year it is going to be you take away Hazley. It's not you take away everybody else. If Hazley beats us, he beats us.
Yeah.
This year it's no, we're stopping him. Um, with that said, I still think he's going to lead the team in touchdowns with 8. He'll be Duke's all-time tight end touchdown record by the end of the year. I just I worry about his production from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be one of those things where we get to like week 3 and he's maybe got 2 touchdowns and 100 yards, and everyone's like, "Oh, Hazley, what's happened to Hazley? Like what's happened?" Like he's gonna be a lot more of a priority for defenses this year.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
still think he leads the team with 8 touchdowns.
The good news is for the receivers is that like if and when Hazley and Shepard are both game plan for every week, that opens it up for our receivers to like kind of pop off,
Yeah.
So, and we've got guys at every position, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I've got a couple different guys in Tyler, actually just one now that I'm looking at it. But Javion Solomon, 55 receptions, Richardson, 800 yards, and I'm going with Jerry as well, 7 touchdowns.
Let's see. For me, I predict shit. I do predict Jared Richardson to get a shit ton of targets and receptions. I predict Javen Nicholas is probably going to be our leading receiver. I think they're going to be doing a lot of short stuff, and he has like a really good slot build. Not that he'll be in the slot necessarily, but I just feel like they're going to be doing a lot of short stuff with Javen Nicholas. So give me Javen Nicholas, 47 receptions for like 690 yards and 5 touchdowns. Yep.
That's still like pretty good line.
Yeah, and then moving on to kind of the last players to watch here, defense, our sack, tackle, and interception leaders. Big guy for us this year. I think he could kind of be the star of the line. Tyshawn Reed. I'm gonna go with 5.5 sacks on the year. I think it could end up being 7 or 8 because he's got a motor on him. Really excited to watch him play in a full season as a starter. Give me the Frenchman Luke Mergot, Mr. Mergot, for 100 tackles, and then give me Montana's finest Keon Loud with 4 interceptions this year. I don't so there was some bullshit depth chart thing. I'm pretty sure it was fake. Got released, and he was like cornerback 3, and I was like, I've heard the opposite. So
It's
I
that
don't think I think he's gonna be big number 1 when this is all said and done.
It's that one site you can look up that's like our lads or something, or like they have
They
like
just be posting bullshit.
no, it's just like projected depth charts for every team, and like I don't know how they go about it, but like it's not like you don't look at that and go, oh, that's the depth chart.
They probably
Like
use
they're just
NCAA
giving you an
27
idea
or
of
some
what
shit.
they expect. But yeah, they've got Loud like quarterback 4.
It's like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, they probably use like NCAA 27.
Yeah. Some AI generated stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Defense. God, it's hard to say, man. It really is hard to say. Um, Sacks, tackles, interceptions. I think give me Kevin O'Connor leading us in sacks. He's gonna eat this year. Tackles, give me Luke Mergott. Any particular number? I don't know. I don't care. I just feel like Luke's gonna lead us. And then for interceptions, give me Tyler. I like where I'm gonna spoil yours. I like where you're at. Give me Pellet. No, give me Deshaun Stone with 3 picks. Deshaun Stone, 3 picks. But however, I will say Patrick Smith Young has been described by a player on the team as the truth.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if
Looking forward
Patrick
to
Smith
him.
Young is popping off. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think on the interception part that was probably the hardest to nail down because we've got a few guys that could hit there. Um, Sacks, I'm Manoa. I've got Tyshawn Reed with 4. If I had to circle a biggest overall concern with the team this year, it's going to be defensive line. Like they're young. There's not a ton of experience there. Also, like they're going to rotate a bunch of guys in and out this year. I feel like I feel like we might see 6 edge rushers a game.
Yeah.
Uh, so like it's going to be tough for someone to get like a VJ or a West, 9, 10 sack year. So I've got him with 4. I'm going to go with our boy Nick Morris Jr., the 7th by this point in time, uh, to lead the team in tackles. Would hopefully, knock on wood, he's back healthy for his last year. I'm sure he loved playing with Coach Roof back in the day, but he'll thrive in this defense because before he got hurt last year, he had 18 tackles in 4 games, like before he went down. So I think he'll pick right up from that. I got him with 75 just because I think, again, similar to defensive line, we're going to rotate so much defensively. Um, so I've got him with 75 tackles, and I've got our boy Juice, Andrew Pellicciano, leading the team in interceptions. I've got him with 3 this year. But like I said, I think that one's the one that's the most up in the air. Like, Loud, I can see having it. I can see Stone having it. I can see Cheo Drike, the kid from Stanford, Patrick Smith Young, like you could throw 5 names out for who you think will lead the team in interceptions, and it's like, yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
and the last one we're gonna do just for fun. I don't think it's still officially been announced, but we're still assuming Cosme's the starting kicker. I don't think I've seen an official announcement on that, and we probably won't till game day when they've put out their first depth chart. But we're gonna assume he is. Longest field goal hit on the season. He's only a sophomore. I just can't get over the Elon game and what we heard on the field last year. I
Magical.
can't get that out of my head when I think about him. I'm gonna take Cosme hits a 52 yarder. Like
Yeah.
I think he's got the leg for it. And it's not unheard of these days.
Yeah, I've got him at half a football field, 50.
Give me Cosme at 53 yards.
Boom. Last but not least, baby, our
Closing it out
record
here.
predictions and maybe ifs bowls, As we said earlier, kind of as Eli was touching on, week by week, we'll be diving in more to score predictions and things like that. This is more of just kind of a general consensus on what we think this season. I had a really hard time with mine. I kept finding myself at 7-5 or 5-7, 7-5 or 5-7. So I'm gonna be a little bit pessimistic, and I hope that we blow Tulane out of the water, and I get to change my tune a little bit, but I'm going to have us at 5-7, getting an academic bid to the Mayo or First Responder Bowl, 3-6 in conference play. I think that last stretch is going to kill us.
Eli, you want me to go or you want to?
You go ahead.
So I'm kind of like Noah. I struggled, like we said earlier. I think it was lying with the devil or whatever. He put it out perfectly. 3-9, 8-4. Like I I can see either of those. I can see anywhere in between, and I'm pretty much going smack in the middle. I think when you factor in everything that went into the off season, you know where they were supposed to be versus where they're at, the youth on defense, bringing in a bunch of different pieces. I can see it taking a game or two for that to really hone in. I do think they beat Tulane. I'm not super worried about that one, but I'm like Noah. I think that back half of this, like after UNC
It gets rough.
out sans Boston College, which is basically a bye week, thank God. Like after UNC, things really pick up a notch, and I'm at 6-6. I think 6-6 this year is ideal with just the state of how the offseason left us. And my main thing this year is I want to see the defense get better, like first and foremost, because if not, then Manny's got to make changes. I mean like staff changes. Like I want to see the defense get better. I need to see the defensive line, pressure the quarterback a little more. We got to get back to forcing turnovers. Like having defenses all fun and games till the quarterback's got 20 seconds to throw the football and your DBs can't cover more than two blades of grass. So I think we'll see. I don't think we're going to be 2024 defense, and I think anyone that expects that probably needs to reality check just a little bit. But we're going to be closer to 2024, I think, than 2025 defensively. However, offensively, I feel like we're also closer to 2024 than 2025.
Don't say that.
So I'm gonna put us at 6-6, and Duke's going to Florida. We're either going to the Gasparilla Bowl
Boca, bitch.
or we're going to Boca. I would love for Duke
Boca,
to get the Boca
bitch.
Boca Raton Bowl because that's like I think the day after New Year's.
It's like a
So
peak game,
do
too.
do a New Year's in Boca. I'm for it.
We're there.
So I'm at 6-6, 4-5 in conference, and Gasparilla or Boca Raton Bowl.
Allow me to be the resident optimist this time around. This clip won't get brought up because it just doesn't fit the narrative on 247 about us being pessimists. But allow me to be, optimistic here. I'm gonna go best case scenario for the Duke Blue Devils this year. 8-4, 5-4 in conference, Mayo Bowl or Military Bowl are on the table. We're due for the Mayo Bowl. We haven't been there in 14 years.
Yeah, it was still
Also-
Belk when we went.
Yeah, it was still the Bell Bowl back then. We lost to Travis Kelce and the Cincinnati team. So
The Ronnie Bowl.
yeah, the Ronnie Hornaday Bowl. He has no idea what that means. It's like, how do you explain the Ronnie Hornaday Belk joke to people?
You just
don't.
can't, man.
That kind of wraps it up. Are we back next week with just a regular Tulane preview?
Yeah, that's our first, next we're gonna record, I guess, Tuesday or Wednesday, have it out the following day. We'll have that mailbag out probably this coming Sunday or Monday. And also to Eli's point there at the end, mind you, you can call us, bad fans, how dare you think Duke might have a losing record or go 500 or lose 4 games, but you know, we're there every week. We cheer our asses off.
We spend our money.
We go in each game with a little bit of our mind saying, "Hell yeah, we can win this fucking football game," and we go in almost expected to outside of Tyler. But we have to be real with ourselves, and when it comes to picking games and picking the season, we hope we go 12-0 and make the playoff and win an Natty every single year. You know what I mean? It's just that's not going to do you guys any good if we bring you a podcast where that's how we're talking about things.
True.
So
we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Yeah, know that my 5-7 isn't because I don't think your sons and are talented enough and such, but I've just seen so much of what Duke football has done. I don't. I think it's going to be a hard year, but I also hope they go way above 5-7. I'm just sharing what I think will happen.
You're fake fans. We're going 12-0, winning the ACC, winning the college football playoff.
Walker gets a Heisman.
You
Yeah.
guys are fake. You guys are fake fans.
You guys
two
should go
don't-
be Tar Heels.
Yeah,
You
you
guys
guys
don't
go
get it.
be Tar Heels.
Yeah, you guys just don't get it. We're gonna win the whole thing. We're not losing a game for the next 5 years.
All right, gang. Well, thanks for tuning in. One last thing. Our Spotify numbers have kind of been slipping recently. I don't know what's causing that. So please, if you're one of our YouTube listeners and you've made it this far, first off, I'm sorry. Second of all, please go follow us on Spotify. Go stream this on Spotify. Tell your grandma to stream it on Spotify.
Just
whatever.
play it in the background for all. We don't
Just
even,
play
you
in the
don't have to
background. You don't even have to
us.
listen to it. Just hit play and turn the volume off.
Yeah, you can
Please.
even use like a guest account, man.
Yeah,
you don't even have
dude.
to.
We'll pay you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Thanks for
I
tuning
didn't say
in.
with money.
Drop us a like, drop us a comment, and go listen on Spotify. We'll see you next week for the Tulane preview.